Hi YouTube. So I know that my last introduction video was not very long at all. It was only like 3 minutes and it was just like a quick introduction. But when I watched it, I realized that I didn't really give you guys any background about me at all, really. Other than the fact that I have 3 kids and am going to school. But I realized I didn't even talk about my boyfriend or anything that was really relevant to my life and how I got here. So yeah, I figured that I would give you guys a little bit of background instead of just like a 3-minute broad introduction. And then also a preview kind of what videos I'm going to be doing for the next like couple weeks. I decided that I'm going to do 1 to 2 videos every week. So yeah. Anyways, so I had my son when I was 15. I got pregnant with him November 22nd of 2008, and I had him August 16th of 2009. My due date with him was August 18th, so I only had him like 2 days early. And he was a big baby. He was 8 pounds, 9 ounces, and I had an epidural. Thank goodness for that, because I don't think that I could have gotten through it. Literally, I had the pain come through a little bit through my epidural, and I don't know how people who give birth naturally are so strong, because I could not do it. I don't think I could do it at all. But anyways, so yeah, I had him when I was 15, and then his dad is a different dad than my twins' dad. I'm still with my twins' dad right now, Carter and Reese's dad. His name is Brian, and we've been together for 3 years. Our 3-year anniversary was just on July 7th. So, yeah. And he works right now. I'm just going to school and taking care of the kids during the day. He works from, usually he'll leave to work at like, I don't know, like 7-ish every day, and he gets home usually around like 5. And then right now on Mondays and Thursdays I have class, so on Mondays and Thursdays then we pretty much only see each other for like an hour, just because once I get home, it's like 10 o'clock, and so he's usually sleeping because he has to get up early the next day for work. And then also, obviously, we hang out on the weekends and stuff, but usually that's just like getting caught up with everything around the house and hanging out with the kids and stuff like that. We don't, I mean, obviously we spend time together, but it's not like a crazy amount of time that we actually spend together. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of good just because we don't get tired of each other. Like a lot of couples do who live together. We don't get tired of each other because we hardly see each other. And then when we do, we're taking care of the kids too. So meeting him from walking down the street one day. Yeah, it was really weird. I met 2 of his friends when I was walking down the street one day, and we've been pretty much inseparable ever since. I moved in with him really early on in the relationship. I think we were together for like 4 months, and I was 16 when I met him, which is really rare for someone to be able to say, like, I've been with the person that I am with now and have kids with for like 3 years. That's pretty rare for someone my age. Also, for the preview of what videos I'm going to be doing for the next like week or 2, no, like a month. For the next month, I'm going to be doing okay, so this next week is going to be a day in the life video. And then also I did kind of like a week in the life on paper. just because I don't want to film all week long and then have to edit some crazy ginormous video. But I figured that I'd do a week on paper and literally like write down every single thing I did for that week, just because I feel like you don't get that much of an idea of what someone does during the day if they're just doing one day. Especially because I was going to do my day in the life video while my boyfriend was here, but then I realized you wouldn't actually get a real idea of what I do during the day if I do it while he's here, because the majority of the time he's not here. My introduction video that I am in school right now to become a paralegal. It's like a crazy program. It's an associate's degree for paralegal studies, but it works to where the time that it takes is cut in half. So instead of it taking 2 years, it only takes 1 year. But pretty much you're doing everything that people in a community college are doing in 5 weeks instead of 12 weeks. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, the third week of every, they call them like mods, the third week of every mod we do our midterms, and then 2 weeks after that we do finals. So yeah, it gets kind of crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for school. I'm going to graduate August of 2014, so I pretty much have like a full entire year left of school. But it's going by really, really fast. Like, I started April 22nd, and it's gone by so fast. It's like crazy. Like, between the kids and school and the house and everything, I'm just like, I don't even know where the time is going. But yeah, that's pretty much it for school. There's not really much to talk about there, but yeah, what else? Talked about my boyfriend. Oh, anyways, so when I was, me and Brian had been together for 10 months when I got pregnant, which is actually really, really weird too, because right before I found out that I was pregnant, we ended up going through our pregnancies like at the same time. Our kids are only 8 days apart. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But it's cool at the same time, just because now like the kids have a lot of people to play with. Hayden, my oldest, who's 3, he'll be 4 next month. He plays with my oldest nephew, who is 2.5. He'll be 3 in December. And then the twins are only 8 days apart from my youngest nephew. So yeah, I mean, it works out really, really well. Like, whenever we go to Brian's mom's house, everyone has someone to play with all the time. So it works out really good. But yeah, we ended up finding out we were having twins when I was 7 weeks along. I could just tell that something was not right. Well, first off, my mom is a twin, and so I have twins running in my family. But she's a fraternal twin. She has a twin brother. So I kind of knew that there would be a possibility, and there was like an ongoing running joke like, oh, Brittany's gonna have twins, something, something, because my grandma had twins, and they always say like it skips a generation. So it was going to be either me or my cousin, and it just so happened that I ended up having identical twins, which identical twins don't run in families. It's just like sporadic. Like, all of a sudden your egg just splits in half and they don't even know why. It's just crazy. Which I think about that all the time too, because they tell you who baby A and baby B is. And Carter was baby A and Reese was baby B. And I guess baby A is just the one that is closest to your cervix. That's how they name them when they're in your belly. But Carter was baby A and Reese is baby B. And so by that means that Reese pretty much just like split off from Carter, which is really weird. But yeah, I was pregnant with them when I was like 7 weeks along, and they just had me go in to see if I was having 1 or 2, because it was my second pregnancy, and the more pregnancies that you have, the more likely it is that you are going to have twins. So I went in just thinking, like, I'm not going to be pregnant with twins. Like, you guys are crazy. And I went in, and the ultrasound lady was, like, looking around, like I was crazy. She looked at me like I was crazy. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm not pregnant. But I took, like 5 pregnancy tests. Like, I was for sure that I was pregnant. And yeah, I mean, and she was just looking around at me like I was like crazy. And she goes, "How did you know?" And I was like, so what? Yeah, anyway, she started looking around like I was crazy. And she was like, "How did you know?" And I was like, "How did I know what?" And she goes, "How did you know that there was going to be 2? Like, how did you know that?" And I was like, "I didn't think that there was going to be." And I don't even really remember, like, what Brian said. Like, he just, like, I looked over at him because I was more nervous about what he was going to say. Like, I wasn't, at the beginning, I wasn't that worried. And I wasn't really worried throughout my entire pregnancy either. Like, his family's really, really supportive. So I wasn't super worried about what we were going to do. And I didn't even consider, like, abortion or adoption or anything like that. I didn't even consider it, just because I don't think that I could do either of them. But, yeah, so we ended up telling his mom, his parents, and his brothers and everyone knew before we went to go see if they were twins or not. So that made things a lot easier, because I cannot imagine telling, like, my parents or his parents that we were having twins and that we were pregnant at the same time. I don't think that I could do that. That would have been really, really hard. So, yeah, but everything ended up really good. I had them at 34 weeks and 4 days. So yeah, I had them almost 6 weeks early, but the entire, like, last 2 weeks that I was pregnant with them, okay, so this was 2011. I was in preterm labor for the whole week before Christmas. Yeah, I was in preterm labor, like, the whole week before Christmas. And then after, I got out for an entire week, like the week of Christmas, which I was really, really glad about, because I was going to freak out if I did not leave for Christmas. Like, I just want to stuff my face and leave. And then I was like, I at least just want to leave for, like, an hour, just so that I could go, like, feast. But yeah, so I left for an entire week, the week of Christmas, and then literally, like, that day, I think it was a Tuesday, that day, a week later, I came back, and I was already dilated to, I want to say, like, a 2 or 3, and then they didn't know, obviously, when the babies were going to come. They were going to try to keep them in, like, as long as possible. But I also had a high-risk pregnancy because they're identical twins. They were sharing a placenta, and so there's the risk for twin-to-twin transfusion, which is where, like, that's the thing where you see, like, one baby who's really, like normal sized, and then you see the other baby who's, like, super teeny tiny, and that's because one baby is getting too much blood, and then the other one is getting not enough. So basically one baby's like taking all the nutrients, everything from the other baby. And a lot of the time with twin-to-twin transfusion, a lot of babies end up not living. So that kind of scared me a little bit at the beginning. Like I was really, really scared that I was going to lose one of them, because especially like in the first trimester, that's pretty common. Or it's not common, but it does happen kind of a lot. So I was scared about that, but everything ended up being really good. They got 2 sets of steroids for their lungs before they came out, for like the week beforehand. Pretty much like every single night they were shooting me up with steroids for the twins' lungs. And then they came like at the second time after I went to the hospital, they came like 2 days later. And they woke me up like I didn't even know that I was in labor. They woke me up and told me, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and Brian had gone home to go to sleep, because I don't know if you've ever slept in a hospital, but it's not the funnest thing. And while I was in the hospital, someone had to take care of Hayden. So while I was in the hospital with the twins, Brian and his mom helped out a lot with Hayden. Hayden came up there like a couple days during the day, just so that way I could like introduce him to the babies, because I didn't know how he was going to be, because he was an only child for like 2.5 years, which isn't that long, but you never know. So yeah, I really was kind of curious to see how he was going to do being a big brother, especially because not only was it one baby who was coming into the house, but it was 2. So that's a pretty big adjustment for a toddler. But he did really, really well. I'm actually really surprised at how well he did. I thought he was going to do a lot worse than he actually did. But yeah, I mean, they fight sometimes, just because they're all like super close in age. They all, like, now it's obviously different because the twins are like toddlers, and so they're actually starting to like the same toys as Hayden does, and they're all boys, so yeah. They fight sometimes, but for the most part they all get along pretty well. Like the twins now, they go up to each other and kiss each other. And that's usually what I have them do if they're fighting. Like, I'll just be like, go kiss your brother. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it on the twins. Other than, I didn't tell you guys, they did stay in the NICU for a week, but they came out breathing and they didn't have any problems. When they came out, they just had to be on a feeding tube for a week. That was the only problem, was getting them to eat as much as they should be to gain weight. But I'm really surprised at how big they came out. We were thinking that they were only going to come out like 30-something pounds, and that's usually what babies come out at around 34, 35 weeks. But they came out to be, Carter was 5'10", and Reese was 5'7", and like I said, Hayden was 8 pounds 9 ounces. So it just turns out, I guess, that I am able to carry really big babies. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to the kids. I just want to make this video to clarify a couple things, and to let you guys know a little bit more about my life, just because I realized I did not say very much in my introduction video, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to do weekly videos. Hayden's birthday is on August 16th, so I'm going to do his birthday video, I'm still deciding what we're gonna do for his birthday. I'm not for sure yet. And then also I'm gonna do weekly updates, I guess you could say. I think I'm gonna do one weekly update and then one like topic video where I actually like talk about some type of topic. I don't know what yet. But if you guys have any ideas or like suggestions that you want to see for videos, let me know. And I will write them all down. All right, bye.